Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings. I pray that all is well and you all are in the best of health and spirits. It is your sister, Denise Renee Muhammad, and we're coming on today, myself and Brother Sean Ali, for our Health and Wellness Power Hour. I am your aromatherapist, and Brother Sean Ali. How are you doing? Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Well, alaikum assalam. I'm good. I'm great. I'm great. Can't
Yes,
complain.
yes. That's right. That's right. It's been a while since we came on live with the Health and Wellness Power Hour on Facebook. So as you all come in, go ahead and share the video. Share the video. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. So our topic today is the process of manifestation. The process of manifestation. So we're going to get into that, Brother Sean. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I saw one of your reels about the process of manifestation, and I was like, yeah, let's get more into that because while I was away on vacation in Hawaii, and a lot of people were thanking me for the videos and saying, "Oh, I wish I could one day go to Hawaii," and that doesn't have to be a wish because
Mm.
I actually put it out there when my daughter first moved over there. I said, "Well, that'll be my vacation spot." I spoke it and then I wrote it down. So it was the thought. I wrote it down on paper and it came to pass. It was some things that had to transpire from that time, but it came to pass. So let's talk about manifestation.
Yes. There. Ain't that something?
Yes.
Yeah. And this, I mean, you know, this is my perspective was from a psychology perspective, right? Not
Right.
a, metaphysical or, you know, mystical, because you and I'm saying that to say because we can hear things and they sound good, but there's no way to achieve them or accomplish them or to manifest them because it just sounds good, like it's not based in reality, you know. But when we look at the process of manifestation, that's it's based on how we get things done or how we don't
Right.
get things right, so and it's
Right. You can
involving
manifest either way.
yes,
To get it done or
so
not get it done, you manifest it either way.
exact that's the key. It's
Right.
understanding that you are going to get what you want, and if you
Exactly.
don't understand what you want, that will be probably why you get what you get. So, and if we don't
Ex-
understand this process that our brain goes under, it's not just something that, okay, I even have to consciously do. This is when we're looking at that subconscious, when we're looking at that autonomic nervous system, when we're looking at
right.
these autopilot responses, right? Like fight or
Right.
flight. These are things that's built in that we don't have to think about. They just are actions that we undergo.
Mhm.
And this would be the process of manifestation, because when I come up with something to do, my emotional brain is involved in every decision making process.
Yeah.
My emotional brain is involved in every incoming sensory data.
Right.
So because it has to, that's where the fight or flight is at. That's where our brain assesses danger at, in the emotional part of our brain. Right? That's that's where the
Right.
scary, the scary cat, you scaredy cat, you chicken. That's your emotional part of your brain, is keeps you alive.
Right.
But if we aren't taught right, trained right, educated right, raised right, that emotional part will be where we get stuck at.
Right.
Because when we're looking, the thought is always first because everything is a thought, right?
Right.
So, and when that emotional part kick in, you know, if I'm emotionally imbalanced, if I'm emotionally uncontrollable, right? If my
Right.
emotional range is low negative, I'm always angry, I'm always scared, I'm always nervous, I'm
Right.
always anxious, right? When I come up with these thoughts and that signal is projected. See, and this is when we're looking
Hmm.
at the brain and that part of the body, we're looking at projections, right? And we have projection fibers. Let me show you real quick. That white strip. So if the brain is sitting like this, and this is the thinking part, and this is our emotional part. So when you
Right.
have that thought coming from the frontal lobe, these are projection fibers, that white strip. And this is the projection fibers. So that signal is projected down to the emotional part for it to be deciphered and go from there. Because
Right.
here's the thought. Okay. I got the thought. Man, I'm gonna, you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna start eating to live. So
Yeah.
that thought is projected to the limbic part of your brain, right? So it's projected. So if now, man, you know what? I don't even feel like it, right?
Right.
So
Like there is no tomorrow, like on that movie Rocky. There is no tomorrow.
so what are you gonna do? So now you got two opposing thoughts or
Right.
two opposing, not thoughts, but two opposing actions. The thought, this is where this is how your body moves. Every contraction of the muscles is an electrical spark, and that's the thought. So
Right.
but the emotion will determine whether you do it or not, whether you manifest it or not. So if I say tomorrow I'm going to start eating to live, man, and you know what, man, yeah, man, I don't even feel like it. Guess
Right.
what? Guess what?
Look,
Guess what the
no,
action
I need
is?
another cheat day.
And right. So when we are looking at this the process of this is where we now know. And what's that term, sis?
Emotional hijacking.
Yep. Emotional hijacking. We can get stuck here. And now all of these good, powerful thoughts, right? They'll get
Right.
emotionally hijacked. They will get emotionally hijacked.
Right.
So you will never be able to manifest them. Your action will be boom. They will be stuck in your head. Mm.
Wow.
And when we're looking at this part, this is a multifaceted equation because it's eternal, internal, and external. How do I feel about myself? See, you know what, man? Tomorrow I'm going to open up my business. I'm going to finally do
Right.
it. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I'm worthy. I don't think I'm smart enough. I don't think, man, I'm scared.
Right. Talk yourself out of it. Self sabotage.
That's in the emotional. See, that thought has
Wow.
been the thought is here. That the frontal lobe is where that beautiful, powerful thought comes from. It is projected into the limbic system. Once it
Right.
gets there, It's deciphering it. Now all of your emotions. So depending on how we are emotionally trained, taught, raised, and educated, right? Because it's easy to come up with that self-doubt.
Right.
It's easy to come up with, but it should be just as easy to rescue yourself. See, it
Right.
should right. It should be just as easy to rescue ourselves. But we are never taught how to
How
bring
to do
ourselves. Mm.
right. How to get unstuck.
You got a quick solution for us, sis? Real, give us one. Sis, you got a
Yes.
very easy solution.
You see this? This orange
Mm.
oil.
Oh yeah.
Natural anti-anxiety, natural antidepressant.
Mm.
Just take the top off and inhale, and it'll help you rise above that emotion of being stuck, being anxious,
Mm.
depressed. It's a natural
Mm.
antidepressant.
To bring you up out of that orange is
Right.
gonna wake. It's gonna uplift. It's gonna instantly uplift you.
Right. Sunshine in a bottle.
Yes, instantly. You going because it's just that type of invigorating, not even invigorating, but it's just that it
Right.
just it is like wow. It's like a
Right.
deep essence of orange.
Yes.
Right, yeah. Oranges don't even
Yes.
smell like that at the store no more. Like you can't.
If you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
even
yeah,
find a
yeah.
real orange with seeds these days, you know.
Right,
Yeah, orange. Oh, it smells so good. Very uplifting and refreshing.
right. And that helps because when we are emotionally hijacked, it doesn't matter why, because it's the same response, fight or flight. It's
Right.
all of the right, they trigger the same, so it's the same response system where you take yourself into fight or flight, you take yourself into the stress response, you take yourself out of homeostasis, you take yourself out of all of the good stuff. You dig what I mean?
Right.
So whatever the cause is, I need to recognize it, stop it, so I could bring myself back to being present and back to manifesting this thought. Because there's no action happening. When we get here, the thoughts get stuck. You should have been rich. You could have been rich. You could have been healthier. You could have did this. You could have already had this. Man, all of those ideas that you could have made, these things that the world has never seen,
Right. Coulda,
waiting
woulda,
on you
shoulda.
to right. And when we're looking, so it's a process of manifestation.
Right.
And breaking that apart, it's three parts: my thought, emotions, give me my actions.
Right.
This is even now, let's look at it from another perspective, real quick, sis. Even when all right, I'm ready to rob this bank. You get there and just like when you're trying to do something bad. If you were a child and you were trying to steal something, your emotions would try to stop you, right? Because it's hard to do something. So I'm saying this process of manifestation, it can work to save us as well, because when we have the wrong thought, the emotions will save you because it will make it harder for you to
For
do
you to
something
do it.
wrong. Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's only when we haven't been taught emotional health and wellness.
Right. Because that emotion, that energy cause it, right? Cause whatever, if it's good, positive, or negative.
Right, because
It's
remember,
going, you're gonna, right.
it's going to be projected. The thought has to see that thought is coming from here. So this is the top of your head. It has to, so that impulse has to pass down to get down to your spinal column. So
Right.
this is where that projection fiber comes in at. But because we have a built, we have fight, the messenger says our brains are created to think right.
Mm-hmm.
The Holy Quran calls it the self-accusing spirit. That's here.
Right.
That's the thalamus. That's where all of that information gets projected right there. And this is the secretary of the brain where that eye is at, the thalamus.
Right.
And it coordinates and sends things where it has to go. But when we, and so I just wanted to point that out because in our proper way of operating, this process also saves us. This is where you get that tingly feeling when you're ready to do something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Hard
This is
start.
where the right. When you make that dumb mistake, like why'd you do that? When you in the midst of when you can watch what is it, America's Dumbest Criminals? That TV show where we watch people
Yeah.
they do right. This right here, this is that process. But we want to, we like I say, black people, we've been reconditioned to be emotionally overactive, to be emotionally imbalanced, to be
Right.
emotionally unhealthy. So this
Reactive.
is right. We need this because not only do we, when we come up with a good thought, a powerful thought, not only do we have self-doubt, we'll have other people say, you ain't worthy, man, you ain't can't do that. You see, so this can short circuit. And if I think I don't want to do it, and when that hits in, it will stop the action.
Right.
So this is where that when I do, if I'm encountered, if I got people telling me, man, you know what, that's a dumb idea for a book. It says I'm believing it. So now I want to write a book. I want to write my book. I got the thought. But I'm here now. I'm in my limbic system of my brain. I'm not here no more. I'm not in the frontal lobe. I'm
Right.
here in the limbic system, and my book is here. My new life is here. My wealth is here. My health. Well, listen, how do I get sis? Help me, sis. Help me.
Right.
Help me.
Yes. Another good one for that is because that's also stress.
Yes.
And eucalyptus is great for uh, relieving that stress hormone.
Mm.
It lowers it as soon as you inhale it. It lowers your cortisol levels, which is that stress hormone, just by
Mm.
inhaling it. That's the power of aromatherapy. You don't have to apply it topically. That's why it's called aromatherapy. You inhale it, you smell it.
Mm.
It's just that simple. Brother Kelvin, he says that's me. Yes.
Hey, let's do. Can we do some? I'm glad you said that. Okay, now when we look at the, can you see the this mannequin thing right here?
Yes.
Because the cortisol comes from the body, right?
Right.
What's that? The HPA axis?
Yes.
That's the adrenal glands. And the adrenal glands is at your back. Sometimes back pain, because that's the adrenal glands, right there that sit on top of the kidneys. And that's where the cortisol and adrenaline comes from the body. But when we're looking, the HPA axis is the hypothalamus, the pituitary, adrenal gland. So what happens is when you put yourself in that stress response, your hypothalamus is the thought. It sends
Right.
a hormone to your pituitary gland, which now is going to create the emotion by sending that hormone down your spinal column in your bloodstream to hit that adrenal glands to have them produce the cortisol and adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
So when you smell that oil, and it's going not to your adrenal glands, it's going to your brain. This is where the cortisol stops at. This is where it begins
Wow.
at. This is just the organ that it comes from. Just like
Right.
Ovaries and the testes is where testosterone and estrogen come from, but they originate here. So if we are under stress, this is why stress is so damaging to ovaries and testosterone. It's
Right.
because they start here with the HP axis. It's the HPG axis. But if I'm under stress, that's cut off. I'm under the HPA axis. So when you inhale
Wow.
that oil and that molecule goes into that blood-brain barrier, it's affecting the H and the P.
Right.
Right.
Teach the
See,
science.
so that
Make it
signal
make
is
sense. You make it make
right.
sense, Brother Sean.
All praise is due to Allah. Right. I mean, because sometimes without having a physical representation, it's kind of hard to imagine how this
Right.
works, because I don't even know what none of these parts look like. I don't
Right.
know where cortisol comes from. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
how does it turn it off? Because everything starts in the brain. So by affecting the brain, you affect the body.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So when Sister Denise says it stops your cortisol levels, how? Because it stops
Mm-hmm.
your brain from sending the signal to your adrenal
Produce.
glands to keep it right.
Peace.
Right. Come on.
Praise
See?
be to Allah. Yes, sir.
So when you hear about serotonin, and the same thing, serotonin, it originates in the brain. Yes, a lot of it is produced from the body, but the body gets the signal from the brain. How you gotta affect your mood here in order to get it here. You do what I mean?
Right.
Oxytocin from the brain. So when you hear about these oils being able to cause these type of effects, it's because it's hitting these processes of the brain, the master glands of the brain and the body.
Right.
Praise be to Allah.
Powerful.
We built,
Praise
man.
be to
It's how we're built. if we just understand how we're built, man. If we know that this is the process of manifestation. So if I know that the formula is my thought, my emotions give me my action. So, man, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to eat the lid. So now the only thing I have to do is get my emotions in line with that. I feel like eating to live. Man, I look forward to. So now only thing I have to do is reinforce in myself the positive affirmations.
Right.
So now when tomorrow comes, my brain is already going to be producing the hormones and the electrical input to my body. I'm going to wake up and do it automatically because I already have the thought and the emotions for it.
Right.
We'll put an outfit out today for tomorrow. Some of us do things today for tomorrow. So when tomorrow comes, I just wake up and instinctively do it. I don't even have to think about doing it because I'm in line. My thoughts and my emotions are in line with it.
And that's key, what you just said. thoughts and emotions being in alignment, because you can have the thought and then the emotion is not there, or you say I'm struggling.
Mm-hmm. I don't feel like it.
Right.
I don't feel like cooking today. Don't ask me. Look, man, I don't feel like doing it today. And you're not going to do it because you don't feel like it. Right?
Exactly.
So, and if you do it, it's going to be half-assed. It's going to be, that joint is going to be terrible. Like, man, you should have just not even did it. It's
Right.
going, because you didn't want to do it. So that's what's going to happen. So when we're looking at the personal things, you know, my health and my wellness, my wealth, my goals, my aspirations.
Right.
Why not me comparing to other people, but the things that's already in my head that I'm emotionally hijacked.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't know how to break it. And that's where the oils come in. That's where, and that's the quick. I mean, because you don't really know you're emotionally. I mean, you know, you could be stuck there, and if you sitting there on your couch and you stuck, you know, it's hard. Like
Yeah.
I've been there. Like you
Right.
can't move. You don't want to move. You stuck. You're not paralyzed, but you just emotionally it's preventing your brain from moving your body.
Right. And another thought just came to me, how we're taught
Mm-hmm.
desire, the minister says desire feeds the will.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
maybe
mm-hmm.
the desire isn't strong enough to feed the will for you to get up and make a change.
That makes sense.
Can you hear me, Brother Sean? All right, you're
You
breaking up.
breaking up, sis.
Can you hear
Can you
me
hear me?
now?
You starting to break up.
Breaking.
Yeah, I can hear you, but you just you was
It's a
going in
lag,
and
yeah.
out for a minute.
My cricket internet right now.
All right, that might be. I mean, well, that's cool. That might be just time for us to because it just started
To
doing,
wrap it up. Yeah, it just started.
and it's not stopping. I don't think.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you froze all the way. Yeah. So family, thank you.
All right. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? All right, we're gonna wrap it up, but thank you all for tuning in. Wa alaikum salam, Sister Maria. Thank you all for tuning in. I can't hear Brother Sean. Peace and blessings, Sister Maxine. Thank you for tuning in. All right, we're going to wrap it up, and maybe we can come back on sometime later in the week to finish up this conversation. But thank you all for tuning in. If you watch this on the replay, share the video. Sharing is caring. Peace.